Hey, good morning. This is Mike Case, and I'm at the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department this morning, and the Sheriff's Department is about to give us an update on the case of Caleb C.J. Whisnand Jr. And the death of C.J. His father was charged in the death, and we're expecting more details this morning from the Sheriff's Department. Thanks very much for watching, and you can read about this on AL.com. Thanks a lot.
What happens sometimes is I was at the state house one day for something, and I just didn't have it. We were rushing to get Belmont. And I just put it on Belmont because it was just easier than to go right in. Where's the better sound of it? Where's the mic? Where's the mic?
Sound check. Please Facebook Live. Thanks.
I've got 5 microphones, and I do 5, we'll call it 6 scouts. Just Sanders, I do the whole thing, and that's what the sheriff says will happen. And Montgomery just had Montgomery just had 15. The RDO is 3. And if you go Bill and HNT wants to, this is easier because I shoot myself like this. Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to do this. And I've seen the shot. They all go to first. And I watch our station. The lower first station.
Yeah, you gotta start doing it. Hold the mic light exactly where the
That's more, because if I hold it, it's going to be right here. It's going to be right here, and the mic's here, and the lower third there. So, but every once in a while, yes, because we also throw on the phone once or twice a month. So I gave it to you. That's pretty much I'll let you. I'll allow it.
They'll probably be hit 11 times. So probably have. They ain't trying to take it yet. He was reckless driving with them on their back. He's headed in that direction.
morning. All right, well, good morning. I'm Sheriff Derek Cunningham with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Today, really, I just want to say thank you to our partners in this case. We had several law enforcement agencies that assisted us, the State Bureau of Investigation, the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office, the Second Circuit District Attorney, as well as our District Attorney, Darrell Bailey, and the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I can't say enough about them. I mean, when you say join at the hip, we were joined at the hip throughout this whole investigation. I mean, but that's what it takes to be able to bring closure to cases like this, is the networking and it's the people that you have. And not to mention my staff, my investigators, they work 24/7 on this case. And I think I probably got the best group of investigators out here. And not to mention you all, because if it wasn't for the media, we wouldn't be able to put this message out. You all did a tremendous job getting this message out, and the community and the business owners that we've dealt with, everybody has been fantastic on this investigation with us. But anytime you're dealing with something that anybody that knows Sheriff Cunningham, I talk about our kids being 50% of our population, 100% of our future. But when we start talking about our children, and we start talking about we're losing our children, this case is something that, out of my 32 years of working in law enforcement, being in homicide, working cases, this says a lot. This says a lot. So this morning, Chief Deputy Murphy is going to go over the details, and then you'll hear from the FBI, and then you'll hear from our district attorney. Chief Murphy.
Thank you, Sheriff Cunningham. As most all of you are aware, Monday evening we received a call on 231 North going toward Wetumpka. There was a report of a missing child, and certainly the media was involved, and Aaliyah put out an Amber Alert of trying to locate this child. Our investigators responded late at night Monday, and several of them worked through the night. But by the following morning, that's Tuesday morning, we received the assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And in the preliminary meeting, there was probably 30 law enforcement officers in the room. I counted 18 FBI agents. There were members, as the sheriff spoke about a moment ago. Aaliyah was there. And the way I really encapsulate this investigation was, it was just good old-fashioned police work. Incident command system was implemented, and the training and the experience, the FBI, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, Montgomery Police Department, Aaliyah, State Bureau of Investigation, of course, Elmore County Sheriff's Office, Lowndes County Sheriff's Office, and even some elements from the U.S. Marshal Service all understand this system. And when you're investigating a case with this breadth, it's very, very important that you not step over the same lead twice, because there's so many moving parts. But the organization, incident command, with the FBI and the Sheriff's Office and the assisting agencies was just phenomenal. And we were making progress. By the end of the day, Tuesday, we probably had 50 or 60 members working on this task force. And then yesterday, probably even more, because we started expanding our search. But again, through just old-fashioned police work, we were able to find this little guy. This is Caleb Whisnand Jr. And I think that the media has these photos. But we were able to recover his body through investigative efforts. And as you were made aware yesterday, we initially charged his father, Caleb Whisnand Sr., with manslaughter with a $100,000 bond. And after the autopsy was conducted last night, there is evidence to indicate that the proper charge will be capital murder. And so that manslaughter charge will now be upgraded after consulting with Darrell Bailey and his staff at the District Attorney's Office to capital murder with no bond. Okay, now I'm going to introduce Ray Cook. He's the Senior Supervisory Agent in charge for the FBI to say a few words. Thank you.
Morning. Ray Cook with the FBI out of Mobile. Just want to say that we've been in lockstep with Derek's office from the onset of this investigation, offering our assistance and resources. And it was through this long-established partnership that the case was able to move to the point that it is right now, as unfortunate as it is. We're very proud of our relationships with our law enforcement and community partners, and this is a great example of just when we get together how much we can accomplish.
Good morning. I want to say first that I am so extremely proud of our Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Cunningham and I have been at this for almost 30 years working together, and Chief Murphy and I have been doing that about the same amount of time. So I expect really nothing less than what they gave this case, which is really excellence. I'm very proud of their office, their team. I watched firsthand them working around the clock 24/7 to make sure that this case was solved and that the proper charges were brought and that the correct person will be held accountable. Very proud of our federal authorities, our state and local authorities that pitched in. Montgomery is a wonderful place. Our community is a great place. Our law enforcement community are wonderful people. Anytime we call, they're there. And we really, really appreciate that. This morning begins the long process of going through the criminal justice system. But one thing that I can promise you is that this case will be prosecuted by the best prosecutors in this state, and that we will make sure that justice will prevail for this baby. You have my word on that.
You all heard from the agencies that assisted and that worked together to bring closure to this case. Don't get me wrong. Now, we still got a lot of work to do. This case is, we still following up on a lot of leads, a lot of things that our investigators are still doing. This is still in the early stages. But what we wanted to do is let our community know that we've brought closure not only to the family, but to our community as a whole, because this message was out there. Everybody was looking for this baby. And that's what we wanted to do this morning, is let the community know that we brought closure. It's kind of hard to sit here and take questions at a case such as this that involves a lot, and we still have a lot of work to do. And it's kind of hard for us to put information out that we're still obtaining. So we'll be very limited with what we have to say. And yes, Brian.
Sheriff, can you tell us where the baby's body was found and the manner of death?
Well, I can tell you the baby's body was found in Lowndes County, out on the rural sector of Lowndes County. But as far as the manner of death, we're still working that case. As I said, you got to realize that all of this came to fruition late last night, and we're still working with the Department of Forensic Sciences, and hopefully we'll be able to put something out at a later time.
How big of a role did the news conference yesterday, in which we all covered live, how big of a role did that play in you leading to the arrest of the father?
I would say after the news conference, we were able to obtain some pretty good information that led us to the body.
Sheriff Cunningham, why wasn't an Amber Alert issued? And at the time of yesterday's press conference, could you disclose how far along you all were into the investigation?
As Chief Murphy had told you all earlier, we started this investigation that Monday night. So, and the press conference was yesterday afternoon. So, we were deep into the case. And like I said, my investigators, they went 24/7. And I probably got the best in the state because they didn't give up. I mean, they followed up on every lead, and they're still out there today. And they're going back out there today. So this is something that you don't want to rush. This is something that we're going to take our time. We're going to do it right. Because, you know, as I said before, this is a baby. You're talking about a 5-week-old baby. And not only do we want to make sure justice is prevailed, but the community wants to know that as well. And that's what we're here for.
What role did drugs play into this?
Well, I can tell you this, that, like I said, we're still investigating it. We still got a lot to do with it. You know, drugs is everywhere in our community. Drugs is something that we're going to have to deal with. But at the same time, I'm not going to say, and I'm not at liberty to say, how this case panned out. Right now, it's still early, and I don't want to put something out there right now until we get everything documented, get all of our I's dotted and our T's crossed. And that's what we're going to do.
Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Law enforcement said that surveillance footage placed the victim at the gas station and convenience store shortly before the 911 call. Is that information still accurate to y'all's knowledge? Was the victim believed to still be alive at the time of that surveillance footage?
That's a question I can't answer because we don't know that answer. I hate to sit here and tell you something that I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate on a case like this.
Sheriff, is it safe to say that this was not an accident, that this was a deliberate act by the father?
It's safe to say that we're still investigating it right now, and hopefully we'll be able to give you more details a little bit later. We still got a lot of things that we got to do, and I'm not going to speculate, and I'm not going to put anything out until we got all of our facts together. As I said before, you got to realize all this stuff came to fruition late last night, and I just want to put our community at ease and let them know that we brought closure and we were able to make an arrest.
Has the father confessed?
Right now, Brian, we're still working this case, and once we get all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted, I will be glad to give you all an update.
Can we expect anyone else to be charged?
Right now, it's still early, so we're still working this case. We still got a lot of leads we got to follow up on, and so hopefully, once we get to that point, and me and the district attorney's office sit down and have our conversations, and we'll be able to give you all an update.
Sheriff, you and I have known each other for a number of years now. I think all of us can sort of see it on your face. When you first approached the podium, how much does this weigh, and I'm assuming everybody here, or at least parents, or perhaps grandparents, how much does this weigh on you in terms of having to separate your emotions, and you got to focus on the job at hand?
Well, Brian, now everybody in Montgomery knows how I love our youth, I love our community, and I always try to put our youth first, because as I told you all in the beginning, that's 50% of our population, but 100% of our future. And shoot, all of my investigators, all of my employees, my staff, and all of our partner agencies, everybody has kids, and anytime that we're not just talking about a child, we're talking about a 5-month-old baby. So yeah, that weighs on people, but we still have a job to do, and we're going to do our job to the best of our abilities, because our main goal is to bring closure and to bring justice for that baby.
Are you able to describe the video, if you already retrieved it, from the Circle K, and what you have found so far?
Well, that's something that we're working on now because all that's going to be part of the timeline. So I hate to really go into details as to what the video footage looked like. And, we're still meeting, we're still talking. And as I said, all this stuff came to fruition late last night. So if you all give us a chance, let us get everything lined up and we'll be able to give you an update.
Had he bonded out before the charges were upgraded on him?
No.
Sheriff, you mentioned the timeline. Can you give us any more about that? Like, how long before, when did this possibly happen in relation to when the call was Monday night? Or can you give us any more about the timeline?
It's kind of hard to be able to tell you something like that because we don't know. We're still trying to piece everything together. Like I said, the Department of Forensic Sciences is still doing their job. Until we get all of that information and to be able to sit there and to be able to say, well, we got this time, that time, and be able to put everything together, it's kind of hard to be able to give you definite answers until we get definite answers.
Sheriff, is there any particular reason why, yesterday the father said the last time he remembered being all together was Saturday. When we have surveillance footage from Monday, why was an Amber Alert not issued for a missing child?
When were you talking about? Saturday?
The initial report came in Monday, if I serve correct. Is there any particular reason why an Amber Alert wasn't issued on Monday?
We pushed out a lookout for the child due to the fact that we were still getting information, and some of the information that we were getting wasn't lining up correctly. And so we were able to put a lookout on this child to be able to let people know we're looking for this baby, and until we can get more concrete information, it's kind of hard to do an Amber Alert on speculations.
We heard a lot about last sightings, more than one. Are all of those apparent last sightings of the child, were all of those accurate?
Don't know. We're still trying to add all that stuff up, and that's what I'm saying. We got a lot of information, and our investigators are stretched thin, but hopefully we'll be able to get all that stuff, and we'll get everything lined up, and we'll be able to get back to you all.
Just for clarification, was the baby 5 months or 1 month? You said 5 months.
I'm sorry if I said 5 months. It was 1 month, 5 weeks. Yes.
Sheriff, can you tell us how the baby came to be found in Lowndes County? And
We just obtained some information, and we were able to go and find the baby.
Any indication of how long the baby had been dead when?
Don't know. The baby's still at the Department of Forensic Sciences, and hopefully once we get all that information, I'll be able to give you all an update. Hey, but I thank you all, and I appreciate what you all did. You all got the message out there, and if it wasn't for you all putting this out, the leads and the calls that we were getting, we wouldn't have been getting it. So I thank the media. I think that relationship that we have here in Montgomery with the media and being able to open up with you all, I think it helped us on this case, and I appreciate what you all did. And I thank all of our partners, and I thank everybody for being able to bring this case to a closure. I thank you all.